Hello everyone and welcome back to a new episode of Raven Creek Park. My name is Pacha, and if you're wondering where I was the last 3 weeks, let me explain if you haven't checked my social media accounts. The first 2 weeks I was on holiday after my last university exams. I took the time a little bit to recreate, uh, fill my batteries up. And when I came back from holiday, I catched a pretty nasty cold. My voice was totally gone. I couldn't speak whatsoever, and this meant I couldn't record anything, especially no voiceovers. So yeah, but now I'm fit. I'm fit again. I'm still coughing from time to time a little bit, but otherwise I'm totally healthy and healed up. And even more things happened in the meantime until this new video. Planet Zoo released, or announced, not released, but announced a new DLC, the Twilight Pack. And we have to talk about this because I think it's very controversial and it kinda, splits the community in half, so to say. But before we do that, let's talk about what we are actually doing today. Mainly building a habitat for the Eurasian Lynx, which was added, of course, with the Euro Pack last December. So we are continuing our forest area of Raven Creek with one of the last big animals, and until the new DLC, it was also the last animal that really was planned for this area, as the last existing animal that was planned for the area for this area, but later more to that. But yeah, we are building a habitat, a closed-off habitat for the Eurasian Lynx, which is heavily inspired by the one in the main wildlife park in the US. Their habitat is for the Canadian lynx, but we are doing, of course, the Eurasian because we don't have the Canadian. But I thought they were similar enough in their needs and in their morphology that we can get away with it. And in the end, I really liked, you already saw a glimpse of it in the beginning, I really liked how it turned out. It feels very fitting to this area. But yeah, let's talk about the DLC. If you haven't already noticed it, or if you haven't already read the news, Planet Zoo is announcing a new DLC. When you watch this video on the day of when it releases, a week from now, on the 18th of October, the new Planet Zoo DLC, the Twilight Pack, will be released alongside update 1.11. About the update, I think we can shortly go over it. A lot of small, cool things that I like. We are getting a new behavior for escaping animals that they now will a little bit vandalize the zoo, throwing over trash cans and eating from them. Maybe some other things that we don't know yet. They are also changing the exhibits a little bit, so that exhibits can change out the backgrounds of the exhibits, and that their camera works a little bit better, so we can see the animals better. But in general, the exhibit sizes or anything like that stays the same. There is, I think, also a couple other things that I forgot already, and I don't mention here. We are getting background skirts, or we're getting terrain skirts, meaning we can now change the backgrounds of our maps, not the maps itself, they will stay the same, but the surrounding backgrounds, like the fields or forests or mountains, we can change out with new skirts, with new backgrounds. So this is really interesting, and we will definitely look at that. Sadly, it only works, as it seems, for new saves, so cannot change the background for Raven Creek, for example. But yeah, speaking about the new DLC, I think we all got surprised that this DLC doesn't follow their usual roster, their usual roadmap, so to say. There is not a roadmap, but their usual roadmap of releasing a scenery pack, then we got an animal pack, then again a scenery pack, and then animal pack. This was how it went for the last 1.5 years, and now we're expected after the conservation DLC, we expected a new animal pack, meaning 8 animals, 1 exhibit animal, 7 habitat animals, and no scenery, apart from maybe a few small plants and some scenery in the free update. But yeah, Planet Zoo got us again and surprised us again. It's not a scenery pack. It's not. No, it's not an animal pack. It's a scenery pack again, which is very surprising for us because we did not expect this, and most of us, yeah, right, kind of already, yeah, expected it to be an animal pack, and now they do this. The Twilight Pack comes with 5 new animals, 4 habitat, 1 exhibit, and from what I know, and I hope I remember right, over 200 different pieces and plants. The 5 animals are also very interesting. We are getting the North American raccoon, the red fox, the striped skunk, the short-faced or short-nosed wombat, and the Egyptian fruit bat. And you are maybe wondering, wait, didn't you say 4 habitat animals and 1 exhibit animal? And isn't the exhibit animal mostly an insect or amphibian or reptile? Yes. And I did not forget it because this time our exhibit animal is a mammal. And a flying mammal too. But before we talk this, let's talk about the other animals. They are interesting because we are getting basically 2 to 3 North American animals, if you want to count the red fox as a North American animal. But of course, I know they are found all over the world, now even in Africa. But yeah, we're getting 3, so say, northern animals and 1 Australian animal. And a lot of people, especially from the US and other countries, didn't really understand why, and also were a little bit surprised by this, because for them, especially animals like the skunk or the raccoon, aren't really considered zoo animals. Which is totally understandable. Even in Europe, there are zoo animals, they are found in zoos, but not for any more longer. They are not allowed to we are not allowed to breed them anymore, and or to house them. We have allowed to house the ones that we have, but once they die, we are not allowed to get new ones. So at some point, raccoons will also disappear out of European zoos because they are considered a pest here. They endanger or they threaten the local wildlife. It's a long story, but yeah. These animals, especially these 2, are not really considered zoo animals, and they are not really the most exciting animals for most people. And the red fox is okay for most people. I'm not speaking of my own opinion, that will come later, but they are, yeah, basically just your typical backyard animal. The wombat, I think many people were happy about. It was high, or it was wished by many people, so this is a good thing. And many people were surprised that we didn't got other animals that would fit a Twilight Pack, like the Tasmanian Devil, which is number 1, I think, on the animal wish list at the moment, after we got the capybara, and that we didn't got that one, but we got these animals, which are rather low on the wish list altogether. But yeah, what is my opinion on these animals? For once, I can say at the moment I'm happy about them, because as you might imagine, raccoon, skunk, and fox fit perfectly into Raven Creek and will find their home into Raven Creek. Heck, I even planned for the raccoon in advance before we even got a raccoon and knew we will get a raccoon. It was planned for this forest section and was to be, the idea was to apply a habitat for them or use the red panda. And now I can use the raccoon, the real animal, so I'm really happy about this. And the skunk and red fox are also nice additions that I will happily work with. The wombat is okay for me. I'm not personally a big fan of it. I mean, it will be cute, but I don't have any plan for them. I will most likely place it in the Isle of the Wild. As I said, animals that don't fit into Raven Creek will go there until we don't have any space there anymore. But I can understand people who are mad about it. Because, yeah, as I said, the selection could have been better. We could have gotten more big ticket animals, so to say, like the Tasmanian Devil, or other people also talked about the Maine wolf, which still would be one of my favorites to get until the support of this game ends. But these animals are, they are good on it. I think even puts it best. They are good on themselves, and it's nice to have them, but not all in one pack, as it kind of takes away the space for animals that would have been nicer, better, or anything like that. So this is sad, but overall I'm happy to have them because they fit in my park at the moment. If I later do a different project and I have no use for them, it's sad. So I think that I would say I would rather have some other animals, but it's always the case with these things. The Egyptian fruit bat is another thing. It's our first exhibit mammal, and also our first flying mammal, and we get a new exhibit type for them, the walkthrough exhibit. The walkthrough exhibit, to put it simply, is a gigantic, and I use this word explicitly. It is a gigantic building. I think it has dimensions of 20 per 12 meter length and wide and 8 meter high. To put it in perspective, this is nearly as big as the whole Lynx enclosure. You see it right in front of you. It's a gigantic new exhibit type that can only be used by the fruit bat. Now, is a lot of speculation flowing around how the fruit bat will behave. Will it be a free-flying behavior similar to the flying reptiles of Jurassic World Evolution 2, another game by Frontier, or will they be on looped animations like most exhibit animals, like the snakes or insects we have in game? And there's a lot of speculation. Rudy made a video, Leaf I think also made a video about them, but to put it simply, we don't know. It could be either way. It could be a free-flying behavior, which I personally really doubt, knowing Frontier and especially knowing how they handle things. And I think also a lot of other creators or bigger players in the Plants 2 community doubt this at the moment. There are also, of course, people like Rudy who wants this to be a free-flying behavior. And I think it's more or less it will be looped animations, which is totally fine, don't get me wrong. So the animals will fly from point A to point B and back to point A, or to point C and then back to point A, and this in a circle the whole time. Some will hang on the walls or climb on the walls, and others will just fly around. And I think I'm totally fine with this. I more have problems with the size of the building, because it's again Frontier buildings giving us something that is comically large and not usable in a realistic size and scale. But we have to see once I get my hands on this pack, how it really works and how it looks. The other thing that of course floats around is this Frontier preparing to give us birds in a later pack. Many people expect the next pack, the December Christmas pack, to be a bird pack. I would say take it with a grain of salt. Rather wait and instead of expecting something that maybe will not happen. It would be a nice idea. I hope, speaking personally here, I rather hope not that we get birds in this way, so that they use this new exhibit type, because of simply of the size of this exhibit. And if I get birds if I have to place a parrot in this extremely huge exhibit, first it will feel rather lost in this exhibit, and secondly, building something with this, like a birdhouse with multiple of these, will become an own zoo of its own. So we will see what it means. Birds again still would be cool. I would love to have birds, but then give them to me in smaller exhibits, fitting to their size. And I don't want to have a hummingbird in a 20 by 12 meter exhibit, flying around in one corner that you never see. So this is that. The pieces of this pack coming to these one now are also interesting. They are very themed. They are very themed this time. Themed around Halloween, of course, because it's a Halloween pack, Twilight pack, and there are a lot of theme pieces like spider webbed benches and huge glowing mushrooms and cauldrons and jack-o'-lanterns. And they part of these pieces I think I will never really have to can use in a realistic setting that I'm building in, or a partially realistic setting. And we have to see. I saw some pieces. They shared some screenshots of pieces over already, and we could see them in the trailer. There are some pieces that look good. There are new stone pieces and new weathered wood pieces that look incredible. And again, the plants that we get, foxglove and different new ivies and other shade-loving spooky plants, or more poisonous plants, like glowing mushrooms that really exist in the real world. They look promising, so I'm looking forward to these. But apart from this, we have to see what we get in terms of pieces. 200 plus pieces is really a lot more than last time. So I hope that they put in, like the Europe pack, where we also had a lot of themed pieces around Christmas and medieval era times. We also got some amazing pieces like new decals. So I'm hopeful that we get some pieces there. I could imagine that we maybe get some new decals in this pack. Decals meaning the type of moss and broken and cracks that we could place on buildings to make them look older. So maybe some spider web decals or more cracks details, so that we can make what they think make it more spooky, but we can more realistic with placing spider webs in the attics and in the roofs of our buildings. Like, let's just be realistic here. Every zoo has his buildings where the roofs are full of spider webs because no one cares to clean them. So this would be nice. As the stone textures, the new stone wall, whatever it is, looks rather good, as well as the weathered wood. So I'm hopeful that at least some pieces in this pack will be useful. But yeah, this pack, as I said, it's really interesting. We will have to see how it turns out in the end. But yeah, before I talk any longer, I say we come to an end here, and I see you in the real-time part at the end. Let me know your thoughts about the pack down in the comments. It's really a biased community at the moment. I want to hear your ideas and your opinions on this, and I see you in the real-time part at the end. Thank you for listening. So, and here we are now in the real-time part, and we are standing right in front of the new exhibit at the backside of the reindeer habitat and their backstage area. And this is now the place for our European Lynx. From here you also have a wonderful view to the wetlands area, and I hope I can preserve this view, the sideline, for later, but we will see. We will see what other features will come into here. And don't worry about the front and the backside of this habitat. These will most likely change. They are just empty and a placeholder for now until I know what other things I want to have here, so they will be decorated in the future. I just didn't want to make the video too long. And yeah, here we are now. And I think it turned out really nice, turned out really well. It isn't the biggest habitat in the world, especially for medium to big or big cats, but I think in terms of realism, this fits really well, and I really like it. And they use it quite a lot. They run around quite a lot. Hello, buddy. And you can even see a little bit hidden, but you can still see the gate to the indoor, where the indoor area would be once it's finished. Maybe I will make a second viewing area there, so people can view the inside of the night quarters for them. And they come up really close to the fence every now and then, which is really nice. But yeah, I really like the roof. I really like the viewing gallery itself. I'm thinking about maybe taking one or two of these windows away, so that I must have a bit more privacy. Let me know what your thoughts are on this. if I should do that, since lynx are still a little bit of a shy species. But yeah, for now, this is how the concept or the original habitat also looked, and I wanted to stick with the original idea. But we can always change things in the future if we need to. I also added some water here because I can quickly show this if I don't glitch into the roof. No, hello, buddies. I just added, yeah, the water trough here into this tree. Could be a fake tree or anything, something like that. Just to have a place for the water area for them, as I didn't knew how to place them. Maybe later when I have built an indoor area for them, that also works. I have to place the water down there. But for now it stays here. From the viewing area you can't really see it, which is really nice. Hi, buddies. But yeah, they also can climb here. I also saw them climb on this rock on their own, so they use this space. They have their scratching tree here, which I really like. I still hope we get some more variants of them for other plants as well. But yeah, really like how they turn out. Really, I hope once all of this also developed, it fits in even better. We will have more forest here, but I think this space front will stay a little bit clear. Maybe some flowers, maybe some lower bushes or something like that. Some rocks, but otherwise it will stay clear, and then you would have more forest there. So it's a little bit of a side path from the big path here. There you can see the birds in the distance. Whoop, there. So this is a little bit of a side path. The main path goes over there. So that they have a little bit more privacy here, which is really nice. But yeah, I hope you liked this, and I hope you liked also my little discussion about, oops, I'm on the roof. Anyway, my little discussion about the upcoming DLC. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I hope I see you next week. So until then, stay curious, stay healthy, and stay safe. And yeah, I see you next week. Have a great time. Bye bye.